Hi, I am Cindy Gay from the Metis Group, and I'd like to welcome you to Right People, Right Seats, How to Know and What to Do About It. This is actually an excerpt of a workshop that we've done with CEOs across the country for the last couple of years. Many of them have really enjoyed the consideration they've given to their employees, not just as a group, but individually, and how differently that impacts their impressions. Also, many of these same participants have found that when multiple leaders of the same organization come together and independently fill this workbook out and then come back together and share the results, they can have some pretty lively and dynamic conversations about the different impressions. But it's those conversations that are really healthy to understand how to get the most out of the folks in your organization. At the Metis Group, we are considered behavior experts at work. As such, we put processes in around the people part of the business to give you more predictable results. Specifically, we focus in three areas. One is in the selection of superstars. No, we are not headhunters, but we do put processes in to make sure that you really are hiring those superstars. The second piece is on performance acceleration. If we've hired superstars, how do we get extraordinary performance out of them? And the third piece is around organizational health or the culture part of your business. Do you really have the culture that you need to survive and thrive in these trying times? So without further ado, let me share my screen and take you to the workbook, which you should also have access to. And it is in a populatable form, or of course you can actually print and write things out if you prefer. So we're going to go to page one, if you don't count the cover page as page one. And the first thing I'd like you to do is consider what it means to be the right person in your organization. I'd like you to exclude from your thoughts anything around do they get things done or not, and think about the manner in which they get things done. Are they friendly? Are they a team player? Are they an overachiever? What are the terms you'd use to describe fitting into your culture? Feel free to even reference some of your core values. In our case, we'd say that this individual can find a way, or they skate to where the puck is going to be. In any case, I want you to take some time and write out all of the descriptions that come to mind regarding what it takes to be a right person in your organization. Feel free to pause the recording right here to give you time to write those things out. Welcome back. Now I'd like to go towards the bottom of page one, and I'd like you to think about whether or not the individuals are in the right seat. Forget about whether or not they make you stark raving mad and if they make you crazy. But I want you to think, do they get stuff done? And how do you know? What are the metrics in place? Is there a scorecard on the position? Are there KPIs that are met or exceeded? Are they the go-to person when it comes to actually getting things done? Do they accomplish their rocks on time? Whatever the activities are that allow, or the metrics are that allow you to know that somebody's getting things done and not just being busy, I'd like you to write them in the bottom of page one. And again, feel free to pause the recording here. Okay, that's the hardest part. Now what I'm going to have you do is go on to page two. And I'd like you to list out the first up to 8 names that pop into your head in your organization. They don't all have to be direct reports. Who are the first 8 people that come to mind? As soon as you've written in their names, I'd like you to think about whether or not they're the right person. Yes or no, Y or N. And by the way, the code is down here at the bottom of page 2. And by right person, I mean that all the characteristics that you wrote at the top of page 1 are ones demonstrated by this individual. Simple yes or no, and fill that out next to their name. In the next column, I want you to think about, are they in the right seat? Do they meet the metrics on a consistent, regular basis? Yes or no? In the next column, we're going to talk about the type. And again, the code is down here in the bottom left-hand corner. If there are 2 Ys, yes, they're the right person, and yes, they get things done. We're going to give them a K for being a keeper. The second choice is if they are the right person, they bleed our culture, but they're not always getting stuff done. Even if maybe they once did, but they just aren't now, we're going to put a Y in the yes and an N in the no. We're going to call them our high potentials. They have a high potential of really making it in our organization if we can figure out what the obstacles are to their superstar performance. If they are not the right person, they violate or just don't demonstrate our core values, or they demonstrate some of them, but not all of them, but they get stuff done, we're going to give them a cue for a questionable. We're questioning whether or not they're on the right bus, or we're questioning whether or not they're clear about what our culture and our core values are. Now, if there are two N's in those first columns, then we're going to put an O in the type for opportunity. This is your opportunity to upgrade that position and free someone up for exploring success elsewhere. So once you have that done, don't worry about action plan. That's something you can do afterwards, and perhaps even if you choose to talk to us at a later time. Let's move on to the next page. On page 3, we're going to have two axes. We have right people on the y-axis, and we have right seats on the x-axis. So if someone is strong in both, they got a K from you, you're going to write their names up here. Anybody who got a HPs, you're going to write their names in the high potentials. The same thing for the questionables. You'll notice in opportunities, there's a space for you to write names, or also a space for you to write positions that are already open in which you do not have any person currently residing. Once you have that done, there are some tips about things that you can do depending on the leadership needed for the people in those spots. So the types of leadership that's required for keepers is going to be very different than those for potentials, high potentials, questionables, or opportunities. There are some additional tips in the pages that follow. And then finally, we've also shared with you our leadership acceleration process, how to really develop the leadership skills of an individual who is either new to the role or needs to improve their leadership potential. And the other is, how do I make sure I'm really hiring that superstar to begin with? And for that, we've shared our Select Advantage process. What I'd like you to do is take some time to mull this over. Like I said, if you have other leaders in your organization, allow them to fill out the workbook as well, and then come together and see how you match up. If you'd like further conversation with us, Michael or I would be happy to have a conversation with you to discuss anything that's on your mind regarding the talent analyzer, regarding your team, or if you'd like to consider ways in which we might help. In that case, feel free to contact us at the information below. We're located at themetisgroup.com, and Metis is spelled with one T and two S's. Themetisgroup.com. My name is Cindy, spelled Cyndi, and Michael is the normal spelling. So you can send it to Cindy at the Metis Group or Michael at the Metis Group for any follow-up that you might like. And we'd be happy to have conversations about how we might be able to help. Enjoy, and good luck building an extraordinary team.